Welcome to the Street Scene Power Hour wrap-up show.
Yay! Wrap-up 2022.
2022. So we got host Larry Ward right way over there, and host Rick Guerrero right here, and I'm Greg Roten. We're going to wrap up this year. You know,
I feel funny. I'm not in the box today.
You not in the box? No, we don't have.
I don't feel like the Brady Bunch.
Yeah.
You know?
We could do that if you'd like.
No, this is good. It's good to be with you guys live.
Yeah, we like to do a wrap-up show. This is, this second year. This is the second time we've done a wrap-up show here. So,
can you believe that we've been doing this 2 years now?
Yeah, and I heard the show's going good.
Yeah, it's going good. I mean, people love it. We thank you for listening to the podcast and even watching this show on our YouTube, Armstrong Neighborhood Channel YouTube, and downloading the podcast. We thank you for it because we wouldn't be doing it if it wasn't for you listening and watching right. And all that. So
thank Armstrong too for having us. Huh?
Yeah, sure.
My cable system
for putting up with us.
Well, yeah, really. Well, they have to put up with. Yeah, we put up with me and Rick for a long time. Mm-hmm. So and. Now we brought in Larry for the
Three Musketeers.
Yeah, that's Three Stooges, or like it.
So what episode is this now? Like 48 or something?
No, this is we are at 48. So this is 48. Oh. We have another one 49, and then 50. We'll start off January, so we'll be at show 50 in January.
So the 50th will be at Barry Dingle's?
Yeah, we have.
At the bar.
We'll have at the bar. We'll shoot it at the bar.
We'll be like,
Corey has a special. Corey's got a special chair, everything.
Yeah. Oh, real? Jeez.
Oh, it's his buddy owns that.
Are we doing it at Barry Dingle's?
Why not?
Yeah.
Why don't we do that?
We can get that worked out pretty quick.
Like let's get a guest to do that. I'm sure there'll be guests coming out the woodwork if they're going to get free drinks at Barry Dingle's.
As long as he has a glass of bourbon or whiskey.
No, wait a minute. It's got to be a beer. That's all you've hounded for beer all year.
Yeah, I've been starting to drink whiskey during the winter months. So.
Oh, boy, you get in trouble with that.
Oh, yeah.
Larry, let's start off with you. We're going to wrap up. We kind of take some personal time here on this show. This is entertainment for us, not for you. We kind of wrap up what we've been doing with our lives on this show. So, Larry, you've had a long year.
Yeah, I have. It's I'm going to boot 22 right in the you-know-what, in the arse, and get it out of here, and I'll head down and start the new year probably around 1 a.m. down at Hollywood Gaming, which I go to, it seems like, each of the last couple of years. Spend $20, and by then it's like 2 o'clock.
You're a high roller.
It's just been a long year. I had envisioned this year, it's my first really full year of retirement. I'd retired the year before in May, but this year is my first full year, and I had a bunch of plans to even go out. One of the bucket list things is the Pacific Coast Highway, and I wanted to head out to California, ride that, but unfortunately, and I've been very fortunate in motorcycling. I haven't gotten hurt that much over the 50-some years I've been riding, but actually I'm 71, so it'd be like I've been riding since I've been 13, so 60-some years or more. But I had a get-off early in May, and I was on crutches for about 4 weeks, and then just seemed to start problems. Then I got off of the crutches and decided I was going to go to Missouri for a big motorcycle national rally. Went to Missouri, and I had already booked everything, so it was kind of hard to get out of it because the temperatures were never less than 95 degrees, and sometimes they were 102. And when you're going 70 and 72 mile an hour, Free State Highway Patrol people always observe the speed limit. Mm-hmm. And I wear.
We'll remember that.
I wear all the gear all the time, so you learn how to keep hydrated, not to dehydrate. It was great to be able to put some of the things that I've learned over the years into play, and so that kind of worked out. And then came back and somehow screwed up a sciatic nerve, and that's caused some problems.
Ooh, that hurts.
I'll tell you, I spent the whole 4th of July, missed all of the parties, everything.
Yeah.
Getting an IV with whatever the painkillers were. That it's about 9 hours. So I got out of that, and it's just been kind of milling around trying to get a little better on different things. But I'm looking forward to a terrific year. I think we got some things planned that I think are going to be really awesome. And we're going to have TJ Tennant back. We're hoping to hook him
Yes.
up at the Campfield Fairgrounds at the new building, and we'll invite dignitaries and also the public to come in. And we're gonna 2-hour show possibly.
Yeah, we're gonna roll with it. So what we have planned, we haven't planned this yet. TJ Tennant wanted to come in and join us. He was one of our guests twice on the Street Scene Power Hour.
Right.
So check that out on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel YouTube or Buzzsprout.
If you haven't seen him,
It's
interesting. And and he's got tons of personality.
Well, I just called him not too long ago about a set of tires that I was looking at. Some guy was selling them for a motorcycle, and they were brand new. And I called him, and I gave him the date codes, and he goes, "Nope,
No.
No, that's the main thing.
Yeah, he would. I hate to say it, TJ. He'd cringe at seeing my stuff. Says I get, my tires are old, and I know I'm bad. I'm horrible because I'm cheap.
They're probably good if you would just want to show the bike or something like that, but for going high speeds.
no."
To get back to that, TJ Tennant, he wants to come in and do a live show. We want to
Questions and answers for the
question and answer
public.
show. He is the tire expert of the world.
Why don't you
Let's
start
put it that
talking
way.
to this guy?
He
just goes and goes.
We want to
and
get an
goes.
audience there. We want some of the fans. We want some experts, tire shops that police stations, fire stations, anything like that. We want to get and all the money. We're gonna, we want to charge a little bit of a kind of
A donation.
Yeah, donation.
So it's
all
for
of
charity.
it will go to a charity, and all of it will go to our Breaking Bread campaign or our Healing Heroes campaign here at Armstrong. All goes to that. It's not. We don't make any money off that.
Yeah, it's going to go.
Yeah, we're not allowed to make
No,
any money.
It's going to go to the Rick Guerrero Classic Car Fund, right?
Yeah,
Which is
yeah,
now
just
down
what
to
you
zero.
need. Yeah, we're gonna buy you a 64 Thunderbird.
Oh,
We'll buy it
no,
back
no,
for you.
No, all right.
Yeah.
I'm looking at Rivieras right now, or Cougars, or whatever.
Yeah, so
I'd like to throw a shout out to the Asphalt Angel, Michael Marino. Every time we do this show and we get it sent in a podcast and later as a TV thing, he's kind enough to put it up on the Two Wheel Power Hour. So it's twowheelpowerhour.com website. So you can also go there, or you can go to YouTube, or you can go to Armstrong or Buzzsprout or a bunch of places. But Mike's been kind enough to help me out throughout the years, and certainly appreciate that.
that's good. So quick 2023. What do you got planned? Just want to get on the motorcycle and ride.
Well, you know what? Everything that I wanted to do in 22 that got shut out, I'm going to do in 23. I usually take my 10-year-old grandson to school 3 days a week, and it kind of is just great because he's always full of fun and stuff going on and that, and he makes my day, starts it off good. But I've kind of let my son know that probably in June, maybe May, or it might even be in April around my birthday, that I'm going to look to be gone for about 30 or 35 days, and I'm going to head to the West Coast.
Yep.
I'm going to, before it gets too old and can't hold up the bike and skills start to deteriorate, I'm going to get out and get going. And,
That's coming, you know that, isn't it? That's,
yeah.
that's,
well, one of the
hate
things
to
that I
see
can
that.
tell you is a lot of my friends have gone to trikes or,
Yeah.
Can-Ams or Tri-Glides, which is the Harley-Davidson three-wheeler. And although I think that's cool, and I'm glad that, I think before that happens, I'll probably sell the bikes and I'll ride my Corvette, which belong to Mahoning Valley Corvette Club, and a good club, so I think that's what I'll end up. But I don't envision that for a couple more years. I mean, I'm not falling
done
off
yet.
the thing yet. No, I'm still, skill level's pretty good still.
Good.
So.
And you just got your Corvette painted, so it's time to run that around a little bit.
Yeah, Scott John, Salem, Ohio. If you're looking for paint work in that, look him up, Scott John Auto Body. I mean, just fantastic. It just painted, one of my friends who's very particular about his BMW motorcycle, took his saddlebag, one of the saddlebags fell off. And if you know anything about a BMW, they're painted with a paint called Glycerite. And it's a real quality paint. And it's hard to match, and he went and bought it, and that guy sprayed it, and my buddy was so thrilled. He gave him some extra money. He goes, man, that... So,
Extra
Scott
money,
John,
yeah.
It's good.
yeah,
I'll paint it with a brush for you.
Scott John, he's awesome, you know. And I think that there's going to be a lot of good events. I've already signed up to go to Virginia in June for the big BMW MOA rally, which is here, and hang out down there. And I think I'll probably go to the BMW RA rally. And then I've got a Royal Enfield and an older 1993 Sportster 1200 that I kind of ride around, and it's old, but it's dependable. So I think I'll probably put some camping gear on that thing and head out. I'd like to get up to Put-in Bay and a couple of those areas up there, park the bike, throw the tent up, and then head down to the world's longest bar.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's pretty neat.
That's right. So I think I got some good things planned in that, and I think it's going to be a fun year coming up in 2023.
I had my Put-in Bay sweatshirt on the other day, and I looked at it and I go, Putin Bay.
Oh, God, don't start that one.
I'm just saying, it's spelled
I know.
the same. And I go, what the heck? I'm gonna stop wearing this thing.
Don't start that one because they won't get any business. They'll go out of business with that.
I just, all of a sudden, I just said, this is weird.
Yeah. And by the way, if you're looking for some motorcycles, I was just up at Motozilli, which is the Yamaha Triumph Royal Enfield dealer, where I bought many bikes, including my 2021 Royal Enfield Himalayan. But he's still got a couple of bikes at $1,000 off. How about that? A Royal Enfield GT 650.
That's inexpensive to begin with.
Yeah, it's $51.99.
You can't.
That's all it is.
Let's get a bell for that.
Yeah, exactly. The story about that, my good friend just bought a Royal Enfield.
Did he?
Yeah,
okay.
And he couldn't pass up that deal. He says, I walked in there just to look around, and it was $1,000 off, and I went out with one.
And these are 22s, and he just wants to move them. The 23s are coming in, so why not? And I'll tell you what, they're already an inexpensive, not cheap, but an inexpensive bike, and $51.99 for a 650
good
twin.
Bikes.
And it's a good-looking bike.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's been very tempting.
Geez, for a guy that's, you say, starting out in a family and he can't afford a $28,000 or $32,000 BMW or a Harley, but he wants to get out and not break the bank. Where can you go for $51.99?
Who did we have on? We had Brienne Poland on.
Yeah.
I remember that.
We're going to run through our guests here in a minute.
She was talking about the
in May.
Royal Enfield.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, she's a long-time market manager for them. I mean, she was with them when nobody would touch them, and now everybody wants them. So I'll never forget, she invited me one time when I was down in Daytona for Bike Week, and they had an open house at a donut shop. And I got to tell you guys, the donut shop, these donuts were this big.
Now you're getting hungry.
In case you're listening, this big doesn't mean what a guy's this big thinks.
Yeah.
They're bigger than this big.
Yeah. But I'll tell you what, and you could get them with stuffed or bacon on them, or they weren't like a donut. They were like a meal.
You know, we went to...
What a blast.
I'm hungry now.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Yeah, we went to North Carolina, and I can't remember the name of the donut place. Oh, my God. They were just like that.
Oh, yeah?
They were stuffed. They had all these toppings on them. You get bacon on them and everything.
What do they call them? Donuts or what? They have a special name.
It's a meal.
A meal.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Full meal.
Bacon
Yeah, it
donuts.
was...
But what a blast, you know.
Yeah. Rick, you've had a long year as well.
That was a good year. It was a good year.
Yeah.
Basically my whole year this year, I was into cars. I went to so many car shows this year.
You did. You did a good job.
Yeah. And with street scene and everything, we did how many? 11 shows?
11, that's a record for us.
Yeah,
I mean,
and I visited.
I hate to say it, we're not doing that many this year.
Okay.
So that took its toll.
Yeah. But I went to a lot of shows, and I supported a lot of our guys there, that we talked to, and just to go to there. And it was interesting. I just love being around the car guys. And I put a lot of miles on my Z4 BMW this year.
Yeah.
So I set the motorcycle aside because I'm kind of getting scared right now. I'm like, I don't know. The older I get, I'm just like, I just don't know.
I would give you a good piece of advice, and I try and give this to a lot of people that are getting into motorcycling or getting back into it, or they're just a weekend warrior every once in a while kind of thing, go down to a bike night or something. And the best thing I can tell you is invest in yourself. Go to a Motorcycle Safety Foundation school, Harley Davidson, Youngstown Harley Davidson, formerly Biketown. They've got a class there that you can take, and it teaches you all about the friction zone, controlling the bike, stuff like that. And then just start like I do. Every couple of years, I get out and I've worked my way up to high-performance road racing schools like California Superbike School, and I'll go down to Mid-Ohio for 2 days and wear myself out. But I got to tell you that you can't do anything better than invest in yourself.
Mm-hmm. I just feel more comfortable with 4 wheels instead of 2 wheels.
Well, that could be.
I feel more comfortable going 80, 90, 100 miles an hour in my C4 than I do on my motorcycle.
And here's a perfect example, Rick, is that you're not on the bike a lot, so you don't do things by rote. Like I'll get out there, and if somebody, I know to be looking, because I'm just on it all the time, and it's like a second sense. It becomes rote where, I'll brake right now because I know that this guy's probably coming out or this or that. But what you don't get is you lack that intuitiveness because you're not on the bike a lot. So, if you're not going to be on the bike a lot and you're just going to ride on the weekends, I tell you, get rider education. Please wear all the gear. I know that there's a lot of guys that don't, but I'll tell you what.
It doesn't take much to if it goes over, you
lot
want
of
to
my
have something
friends-
on. I can imagine. I'm not a motorcycle rider, but
well, a lot of guys don't wear helmets on certain brands, and I can tell you that I respect their right to choose, but I find it distracting. I used to road race, and you can't race anything, car, bike, scooter, without having protective gear, and there's a reason for that, and and believe it or not, it is more dangerous on the street than it ever will be on the track. On the track, you're with other people that know how to ride. You know where your braking zones are. You just know everything that you need to know to be as safe as you can in a high-speed sport. But when you're on the street, man, if you're not out there riding a lot, it's risky business. And what makes me so irritated, and I can't wait to talk to the Highway Patrol at some point.
Oh boy, here we go.
But what makes
we
me
got
so
that
irritated is that, people have gotten maimed and killed recently on motorcycles, and the people that hit them either were on their cell phones or were distracted, and you know what they get? They get a slap on the wrist. They get like a fine and anything that they would have gotten got suspended. I just saw this recently, and I've gone over this over and over. I am an advocate. If you're going 8 miles an hour in a car, then that cell phone should shut off, except for if you're using it for GPS. I think that would help a lot of people. It would help the insurance companies. I don't know why they don't advocate for that. I think it would stop distracted driving, and that's the #1 culprit for people hitting motorcyclists.
Yeah. It's not only motorcyclists, because it's a quick story. Yesterday I was driving 4 miles, and I had some young lady behind me on her cell phone like this, and I had to stop at a stoplight. I saw her, I was watching, I knew, because I passed her, I knew she was on her cell phone, and sure enough, she looked up, I saw her eyes, and she swerved in the other lane.
Oh, yeah.
But she swerved in the lane with oncoming traffic. So she was lucky, but she was on her cell phone. It takes 2 seconds. Yeah. And you know what? I'm an advocate, just like Larry, of throw the thing down. Is it that important? No. I was driving back from Warrendale, PA today. Cell phone was down. I said, and Rick's texting me, asking about it. Larry texted me. I didn't answer. You know what? I'll get back here, and it's fine. So, it's a real problem. I know something needs done about it, but I hope that you put that cell phone down. It's not that important.
No, not at all.
Oh, you know what? Here's another one that really gripes me. You'll get in line. I don't get in line in a drive-through to wait while you're doing this. There's nobody, the cars have already gone, and people are either afraid of road rage or something, or they're too polite, but not me. I'm going to beat the horn, I'm going to roll down the window, and I'm going to yell at you to put the phone down. I got into it about 2 months ago out on Raccoon Road. I'm sitting at the light behind this guy. The light turns green, and I start counting. And finally, I beep my horn, and the guy gives me the you-know-what. So at the next light, guess what? Larry pulls up to your window, and he's going to say...
Maybe it was Larry Ward.
I go, will you please put the cell phone down? Is my life not important?
No.
Will you put the cell phone down? or pull over into a parking lot, do whatever you need to do and get, and then of course, we got in a little bit of a.
Yeah, you got to watch with this road rage. These people got guns and everything now. You got to be very
I have a
careful.
concealed carry.
Yeah, and it's sad.
But you can't use it.
I do too, and I do. Again, I get nervous and I pack everywhere I go.
Yeah.
But people don't just throw fists anymore. It's I'm going to come out and shoot you, and you're done. And it's not worth it.
Yeah,
it's really not worth it.
But when I go if I'm going by myself and I'm going for a couple-day trip and I'm not staying in a hotel, I'm going to be camping.
Yeah.
I don't worry about the animals. I worry about the two-legged ones. You
Yeah.
never know about. There's a crime of opportunity. My friend Roy Dykeman, who's a former policeman, tells me, it's a crime of opportunity. They see a lone person there. Maybe they're on drugs. They need money. Who knows what? But they're not thinking right, and sometimes you have to have the ability to be able to defend yourself.
Yeah.
And hopefully it doesn't ever come to that, but I'd rather have it than not have it.
Yeah.
So I carry it when on the bike when I go.
Yeah, and you know what? It's sad it's come down to that, but Rick, what else is going on?
I
with
got
you?
quite boring life, really.
You've been retired
I've been
for a while.
retired, but I'm working on the
Really?
side a little bit.
He's retired?
Yeah, he could give you some pointers.
But I never knew he had a full-time job.
No, he didn't work. Who's kidding? He didn't work.
He was like polishing hubcaps or something.
Polishing something else.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh,
I've been-
you're going to get in trouble. Where's those sensors going?
What sensors? This is the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel. The only sensor is me editing it.
Oh,
I
man.
can't top that one.
All right, oops. Anyway, go ahead, Rick.
I'm glad he said it, not me.
Anyway, that took a turn for the worse.
Most of my year was with cars and going to car shows, meeting people and stuff like that, and just having fun. I tell everybody I'm happy and healthy. That's the main thing.
Boy.
I'm 69 years old, and,
Yeah.
and 70's creeping up. Or over
Yeah, you
49.
younger people that watch this, the older you get, is you really start to appreciate that because
Sure.
when
Your
you
health is everything.
Oh, my
if you
goodness,
if you're on crutches and you're down or something, you realize, man, I can't do anything. So yeah,
you
It's funny you mention that. Just yesterday, always on the Sunday Vindicator, I find myself looking through the obituaries and stuff.
Oh, Rick
And
was
then I
just
said to my
saying
wife,
that.
I said, Mary, this has been truly a bad year. I've lost friends. My friends have lost friends. One of my friends lost his 40-year-old son.
Oh,
I
yeah.
said, it has just been a bad year. And she goes, honey, you're almost 72. You're going to have that now.
It's
Yeah.
not gonna
You're
get any
going
better.
to have that now. So that's the unfortunate part of it. But tomorrow isn't given, and
Yeah.
I realize that. And
You could have
I'll
all
tell
the
you
money in
what,
the world, but if you
I
don't have
will.
your health,
When people come to my funeral, they're going to say, "Man, that cat, he was on the go and never left. He did what he wanted to do."
No, that's what keeps you
have to
going. Keep busy, get out of that chair, and
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's why we have a podcast so you can listen while you're doing something.
yes.
But yeah, we've had a busy year on Power Hour. We've had some incredible guests. You know.
Let's start out with our first guest here, and that was from State 8 Motorcycle, the manager. What's her name? Samantha Vallish. Is that
Samantha Vallish is not only the parts manager at one of the largest motorcycle dealerships, but she's an excellent mechanic. You ought to see the restorations she does. And recently, the Vintage Movement, which is Bob Wenzel, a buddy of mine, and Ted Guthrie, another buddy of mine, they formed a business and they rebuild and restore your vehicles, whether they're four-wheelers, three-wheelers, motorcycles. They just got done doing it took 3 years to do this 1970 XLCH Ironhead Sportster. So
How long did it take?
3 years.
Wow.
Well, parts are scarce. and,
Yeah, that's the
you're
point.
not always working, and then that's like a $10,000 or $12,000 restoration. So the guy pays you here, and you work and work and work. But one thing about Sam is Sam's an accomplished motorcycle racer. It was just I want to say 3 weeks ago, Ted Guthrie and the Vintage Movement loaned her I think it was a Combat Wombat, which is a Hodaka, and I think it was a 100 or 125, and she raced out at Lightning Speedway, and I think she took first place. So
Good.
wonderful gal, just
Yeah.
a peach to be around, knows her stuff. I mean, when guys come to her and ask her, well, how do you fix this?
I get
Yeah.
amazed when I see these gals that are so involved in motorcycles. I guess I'm old school, and it was when I grew up, it was all guys.
Yeah.
But we've had a few gals
Well-
on our show here, and there's like, wow.
When we had Brianne Poland from
Yeah.
Royal Enfield on, Royal Enfield started a complete women's only, and they had
Yeah.
people try out, and they have a road racing thing now, and it's been going on for the whole year, and it's been doing pretty good, you know.
And Alyssa Clickinger,
Yes.
Yeah.
she was another one. She really impressed me.
Yeah,
was
she,
really
that was
into it. That was a
women's
while ago.
only ride across the country.
Yeah, we had
Yeah.
her on last year. Yeah,
Yeah.
April 27th of 21. Yeah, she's with the Women's Motorcycle Tours, and she really impressed me too. And we had Samantha on, January the 12th of this past year.
Yeah, so we had,
Then we moved into the next week on the 26th.
we also had Nate Miller. I got to mention Nate Miller. Nate Miller's been a friend of Street Scene since we started this show.
Yeah.
And he's got Rust Belt Broncos out on Route 446 right out in Canfield. You know, he used to have Buckeye Auto Restoration. Moved out of that into making Mustang bodies. Sold that off and got in the Rust Belt Broncos, and it's going really good. for him.
Wow.
Broncos are the big thing.
Yeah.
They are big.
Yeah, they're
Those little
huge.
mini Broncos are 71, 72.
Yeah, the 66 through, when did they
Yeah.
stop making 70?
70. No, I think that's a big.
Oh, yeah. I
Right
can't-
around
okay.
71, 72 is the last, I think.
Yeah, I can't
small
remember when
one.
they went to the little bigger
boy, are
body
they
style.
hot.
But
They're big bucks right now.
Yeah, they're
If
big
Nate-
bucks.
If Nate's going to do it, if Nate's going to do it, it's not going to be cheap.
remember the one when you were a kid and you walked back in the woods and saw it rotting in the
Yeah.
ground? And, oh, it's a piece of junk. Well, now it's not such a piece of junk.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we had Nate
You
Miller
can buy
on.
parts for those anywhere, you know. It's
Yeah.
like a Volkswagen. You can buy them
Yeah.
anywhere right now.
So, Michael Marino, you know, Asphalt Angel.
Yeah, Mike's a cool guy.
Yeah.
Tell you what, he's got his own blog. You might look it up under the Asphalt Angel or Asphalt Life. And I'll tell you what, he has taken after Roy and I. He is a true motorcyclist in every sense of the word, from not only maintaining his bike himself, but putting thousands and thousands of miles on that FJR Yamaha.
Yeah.
And you know, one weekend he's in New York, another weekend he could be in West Virginia. I mean, he gets it, and he gets out and gets it done. And he's part of the Motorcycle Sport Touring Association, which, of course, I'm a life member, and good group to cycle with.
We shared that show with Fast Freddy.
Yeah, a friend of all of ours.
Oh.
Fast Freddy. Hey, he's been in the motorcycle scene forever.
He's a radio guy, so he's a good talker too.
Yeah, he's kind of like somebody else we know. Right here.
Yeah, really good talk. You know, I ran into Fast Freddy a couple weeks ago. I went to the Robert Cray concert at Robbins Theater. over in
really?
Warren,
I heard that was.
It was good.
Yeah.
It was very good. And Fast Freddy, we talked for a while. And Fast Freddy right now he's always into the motorcycle gigs and all that. And he's doing one at Yankee Lake.
Oh, wow,
And
really?
He goes, Rick, he said, I didn't even think about getting you guys out there at the Yankee Lake to do a show. And he said, it's really.
I go there, especially for the Harley, for the sports show. There's
Yeah.
always
He
something.
said
Okay.
it's really picking up right now. So Fast Freddy.
Well,
we're
we
gonna-
might have
we'll
to schedule
throw
that one, and we
around,
want to get
yeah.
Larry out there as well with us because,
I told
you
him.
know, Larry's the one with the questions to ask because,
I told him, I said, Freddie, I said, use us, man. We love to do the motorcycles. You're a motorcycle guy, you know.
Yeah.
Because he's always around doing these shows and everything. So.
yeah. Well, maybe we can go out there for a podcast as well. We can always do a remote
Oh, that's a
podcast.
neat
So,
idea. Yeah.
Yep.
so we can do that
We'll
and
have
get a
to talk
guest
to-
on.
We'll have to talk to the fast one.
Yeah, after the holidays are over, because you know I think the rest of our brains are shut down until January. So at least mine is, but that
Okay.
never opens back up. Yeah, we mentioned TJ Tennant. Look forward to that. Hopefully we can get him back here.
Yeah, I'm going to start on it. Maybe today.
If you want to look back on some of our old shows with TJ, we had him on November 16th of 21. That was the first time we had him on. And then we had him on again February 22nd of
And let me
22.
Yeah, let me tell you this. We had him on for 2 shows, and we still had a list of questions we could ask. I mean, you just don't ever have enough questions about tires and
Yeah,
tires.
he just told me about a big case that it was involved, and it involved his former employer, Bridgestone Tires.
Wow.
God.
Oh,
But
yeah.
TJ, it's black and white, right or wrong.
Yeah.
TJ was actually hired by the people that were going after Bridgestone, and he explained the whole thing. And you know, when the way he explains things, and you can't never get mad, even if you're the other guy. You know,
Yeah,
he's just
I see it.
honest, sincere,
Yeah.
professional. You know.
Check those shows out. That was
Yeah.
great.
If you want to know about tires, tire brands, tire wear,
It sounds boring though. doesn't
it sounds so.
about tires.
I'm going to be honest. Yeah, it sounds so boring.
But it
But
isn't.
oh my God, no! You know, you will learn so much from going back and listening to those shows or watching them on YouTube.
Yeah.
You
Might
know,
even save your life too.
yeah, you know, you might want to.
What
you know,
gets me? Some of these guys go, "Oh, these are the original tires on those cars in 1960."
put them on your shelf.
Go,
You know, they're dry, they're dry.
Yeah,
You're
they're-
gonna
transport
steel
that
belt
car
hit
on a
failure.
Do not
trailer.
use those tires,
No.
especially if you're going high speed.
Put them on a set of wheels, and if you want to show the car on one spot sitting there, put them on. Don't move the car. Don't drive it because they are bad. They don't last that long.
Okay, after TJ, we went into we had 3 guests on this time.
Yeah, and yeah, we'll start with
March 10th.
yeah, Chris Guerrero.
Yeah, I'll tell you what.
Close. No relation.
Because of that Himalayan is a very popular, or Himalayan, whatever, Himalayan in Europe, Himalayan in the United States.
Okay.
But I'm on a couple of the forums, and I see this guy, Chris, and he's talking about a couple of things, and lo and behold, he's down there near Daytona. So I just sent him a thing, then we exchanged phone numbers, then we started texting each other. Couldn't have been the nicest guy.
Yeah.
I got on my bike, headed over to his house. He has a couple of houses, nice,
Yeah,
construction
must be
company.
nice.
And he ends up taking me out to like this barrier reef kind of thing. And as you're riding through this national forest stuff, it's right on the water. I mean, there's alligators right there. I'm like, no, do not fall off, you know.
They'll eat your bike and
Or
you.
if you go around the bend and I'm not coming around the bend, please come back.
Yeah.
You know, and he said, just do this. Just keep the motorcycle between you and the alligator.
Well, that's a good concept,
Yeah.
considering I don't want to be near the alligator.
Yeah, well, yeah,
down there they
I
eat
got to tell you, the Himalayans are a little bit heavy. If it falls over on you like it did with me, you have a little
Trap
bit
your
of
leg
trouble.
under
getting-
there, you're looking at the alligator coming at
But
you.
what a great guy. And by the time we ended up finishing the ride and this and that, and said, hey, I'll catch you later, I was about 65 or 70 miles away from Daytona. And of course, that bike's not fast.
Yeah.
0 to 60 sometime.
Yeah.
You know, so I cranked it up to about 65, 70, and just sat there, and it took me about an hour to get back. And what a fun day! Couldn't
Yeah.
thank Chris enough. I'm looking forward to seeing him. I might fly down. I have an airplane ticket I got to use before March, so I may fly down and rent a bike and just screw around, especially if it snows in January and February like it
No,
did
you're
last
gonna
year.
guarantee.
Yeah, my wife doesn't go anywhere, so I'm out of here.
Yeah.
And also we had Vinny on the show.
Vinny Barbone.
Vinny
He is.
Barbone, one
What
of
a
our-
great
one of
name.
our-
Yeah.
Vinny
Yeah.
Barbone.
He's.
Good Italian name.
Yeah, he
huh?
was talking about going to sick week.
Yeah.
Now that's just started up. You know, it's kind of like it's in Florida, and a lot of racing.
That's big.
So it's not a
And
COVID thing.
No. It's
Get it?
Yeah.
Co sick week.
Oh,
Yeah.
come on, rough crowd. What a rough
I missed
crowd.
that. I
Sick
lost
year.
it. Yeah, sick 2 years.
2 years.
Yeah, Vinny's great, and he's involved with Donnell, and he's involved with them, and Cars, Cats, and Canines, which you will be seeing the show on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel. He's involved with that as well, and he's a good friend of ours.
Involved with the Flint Auto Group. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's been a friend of the show forever. since-
Yeah, he was involved with Back to Basics
Back to
car
Basics,
shows
Right.
Oh.
yeah.
Wow.
years ago. So
Yeah.
he was him and his. I think it was the Piston. It might have been the. I can't remember, the Piston Power Club or something. It was around here for a while. We also had Steve Legursky on
Legursky, yeah.
Piston Power in Cleveland. And,
Wow.
That's at the
we had
IX
them.
Center one.
Yeah, we talked with him about that show, and that
was
is
great
a show to
That-
go.
I really enjoyed that show.
Yeah.
You know what's neat about that show? Every time I think about it, the cars are great. The cars are great. I just went to the Detroit Autorama, and a lot of the cars at the Detroit Autorama.
Was that this year?
Next year. I'll let you know when. It's
Yeah,
done.
I'd like
Yeah.
to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
And And a lot of the cars at the Detroit Autorama were at the IX Center. Not all of them. IX Center's like a little slimmed down from
Yeah.
the Detroit one. But we got there before the public was there. And
Yeah.
that was really nice. The public wasn't allowed in there until what, Friday or at 3 o'clock.
They were 3 o'clock,
Yeah.
and it was I think it was a Friday. We were up
and
there.
Greg and I got there like early in the morning, 9, 10 o'clock, and we were just like,
We soaked it in.
Yeah,
It
we
was,
just sucked it right up because everybody was there setting up their cars, so the interviews were real easy, and anybody we wanted, they were right there, and it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
One of my friends that's part of the Penton Owners Group, which is Penton Motorcycle, he does a lot with the Pentons and other things, and he sets up a huge motorcycle display every year, Tom Worcester. And I thought, hey, maybe we'll get him on in March.
Yeah.
And
sure.
he can talk about getting the thing set up, what he does, and what displays you'll see motorcycling wise, and
Yeah.
you know.
The Piston Power Show is like 2 shows in one, really.
Yeah.
You have the classic cars in the cellar, like the Youngstown, I don't know which club it is, but they display their classic cars, which are very nice, and then you have the exotics upstairs, man. Exotics.
And they said that thing, that IX Center down in the cellar, during the 40s or something, or maybe later, they built tanks.
Oh yeah, that was an old tank
And
factory.
I'd love
Yep.
to see videos or pictures of how
Yeah,
that thing
really.
was laid out.
that was
I've
old.
been down there, and I'm like,
I don't know how. You know, I don't know how you can fit
Tank
anything
plant.
down there. It's not that big to me.
And
at
I wonder
least.
when they quit making tanks up there. Do you have any idea?
I have no idea on the history of that.
Well, I'd like to see if we can have a historian get
Well,
over there.
email us, armstrongstreetscene@gmail.com if you got any pictures or history on that. Because we'd love to know. We'd love to talk about it.
And then we moved into March 23rd. We had 2 guests on, and one of them was one of my favorite guests, was from the Lowville Cruise, which we love, Don D'Onofrio.
That's a great
And-
cruise.
Oh, yeah.
If you've never
It's strong every year.
If you've never been there, you gotta go every Monday night during it's summer when the weather's nice. I think they stop like the middle of October or something.
Yeah.
But boy, it's just a bunch of good guys, good car guys down. Every time you go there, you just
Pretty much the center of town's blocked off,
Yeah.
and they've really remodeled the town around that car show.
sure
now.
did.
And it's really nice to see.
Yeah,
So.
you feel really good when you go there. Everybody's a car guy down there, a car gal, and it's just comfortable. Right next to the river there in the old town of Lowville.
You got the train running through every once in a while.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yep.
It goes through.
Yeah.
If you're there an hour, you'll see a couple trains going through there, and they
Yeah.
zip through there.
Yep.
too.
So make it plans to stop there. We had also had Josh Hayes.
Josh Hayes.
What a great guy. I mean, a super ambassador for the sport of motorcycling. Has mentored many a young person on how to do it right. You know, a lot of guys can race, but it's a little different. It's like playing ball, you know, learning how to do it the right way. And he certainly has been a mentor and a friend. He's always been readily accessible. And he went back and raced a couple of races. I think he finished 4th. He's at a very high level still. I mean, just great. And his wife, Melissa Paris, is one of the few women that placed in the top 10 in the Daytona 200.
Wow.
So that family's pretty cool, I'll
Yep.
tell you that.
Yeah. April.
We're moving on to April 6th. We had 2 guests on, and first one on our list is Sean Paris from he's the president of the Hollywood Knights.
Hollywood Knights Car Club.
Yeah.
You know, they've been good friends of Street Scene as well. We actually featured their show this year, even though it rained.
Yeah.
We had a lot of rain this year.
Yeah.
You know,
And high wind.
yeah,
lot of high
it
wind.
was, but we got a good show out of it, and they had some really cool cars there.
Hollywood Nights, you think of that, and I think of every time I would take a bus trip up to the Cobalt Center for the Detroit show, they'd have the movie, what was that? It had like the Hollywood Nights.
Yeah, that's what that's
That was a
what they-
blast.
Yeah,
And that's the way it used to be, too,
Yeah.
back when we were growing
If
up.
you get
man.
a chance to go to that show, that's a neat one. That was what, September or something.
Yeah, and that was at the Union Hall up at
Yeah.
The old Lordstown
They're into-
facility,
they're
or
into-
Foxconn, what it is
They're
now.
into power, a lot of muscle,
Yeah.
a lot of muscle in that
Wow.
show.
Cool.
Larry Rabbit Smith. Larry.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a cool guy. His book is Rabbit's Tales, and it details what I'd consider to be the golden years of motorcycling in the Youngstown community, and he details a lot of things. If you were in your 60s or 70s right now, and you would pick up his book, Rabbit's Tales, and you'd read through it, I'm telling you, it would be transport you right back and you'd start thinking about things, and you'd start smiling and laughing, because what he talks about is things that we were doing, literally there. Also, he raced his old XLCH, which he still owns. I think it's a 1970. It's got 300,000 miles on it. Been rebuilt about 10 different
On a
times.
motorcycle.
Yeah, it's
I
been
had-
featured in that at
had
the
a
Packard
71.
Museum, but quite a guy, still a good rider, and one of the best authors out there
Yeah.
for motorcycling.
So we're moving into April 20th.
Yeah, April 20th, we had Alexander Burkett,
Big
Brothers
Al.
of Power, and thank you, because that was our top downloads for
Yeah.
Buzzsprout. I mean, way over
Really?
300 downloads on
We had-
that one.
we had-
So
Wow.
we must have done something right,
Yeah, we had
because
Big Al. We called him Big Al, and what is his buddy's name?
oh
I
god,
can't think
I
of his
can't.
buddy's
You
name.
know, I'd have to look.
But that was so much fun.
they're great. They always
And-
come out and support the Armstrong Street Scene Car and Custom Bike Show and bring some.
We promised them to
awesome
do the
cars
show
out.
this year, but somebody was on vacation, accidentally took me.
Yeah, well, yeah. So I guess I'm going to hold up my promise this
He
year.
messed up with his scheduling.
I
so-
can't keep anything straight.
But we're gonna try to get it this year on the
Yep.
2023 schedule.
Yep.
I went to that show, and it was really neat. It was a really nice show, and they got some different cars there. They're into the bigger luxury cars.
I love. I'm a big.
Yeah.
I love the big boats, and you know
They had a lot of big boats there,
Yep, I love them.
and they were well done. I'll
Yeah.
tell you what, some of them were just like,
That's-
oh my god.
Yeah, they brought some to our show, and boy,
Yeah.
they took the show on that. So they are just so clean and well built. It's like, you know, that car club knows what they're doing.
Yeah, oh yeah, they do.
They really, the Brothers of Power know what they're doing, and the cars are just gorgeous.
There was a
they
lot
have.
of cars that stood out there for me, but one of them that stood out was an old Hearst.
Oh yes.
Oh my God, you should see this thing. It was so decked out, custom and everything. What a way to go. And it was one of the
What a
few-
way to go,
Yeah,
right?
what a way to go in a fancy hearse. Man,
Yeah.
this thing was like, you look at it and go, wow, I'd love to see that again. I'd love to, if we do the show this year, hopefully it's there.
Yeah.
That would probably be Rick's pick. It was just like, it
Probably a
always stands out.
Ghostbuster.
No, it was well done.
Yeah.
Whatever it was well done.
We start off May 4th. Ed Stanton, Rockabilly Ruckus.
Mm-hmm.
Now we've featured this show on Street Scene twice now. And you know, the one that last stands out was Rich Morgan climbing into the trunk of somebody's car. As you
No,
remember,
that wasn't
get in
Rockabilly
free?
Ruckus.
Was that?
The Rockabilly Ruckus is at the Trumbull County Fairgrounds. Rich was at
Right.
the.
Oh, I'm an idiot.
Yeah,
So anyway, go ahead, Rick. You can just cover my mistakes.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I've done that before.
Yeah, I know.
I'd go on and on. The
I
guy
do that
looked at me and
all-
he goes, "No, that wasn't us."
Yeah, well, okay, Rick, I
He
quit.
He criticizes me all the time, so it's
No.
my turn.
Yeah, well, anyway,
It was a
go ahead.
Rockabilly Ruckus at the Trumbull County Fairgrounds, which is a really unique show in itself. You know,
Yeah.
these guys are there. It's like probably the show you'll see most of the families at. It's a family show.
They-
a lot of kids
kids
there,
rides.
and families there, and they race cars on the dirt track there. It's really a cool show, and it's a weekend thing. At the
And I
Trumbull County
think,
Fairgrounds.
didn't he say they might not do it there this year? And they're going to have to move it?
Yeah, I think
Huh.
they raised the price on the
Yeah.
fairgrounds or something there. So.
Well, you know, I
That's a
hope.
neat one.
Yeah, it's a good one to go to. Louis, Terrific. Louis Terrific.
Right.
From the Reliability Rally.
Yeah, these guys, unfortunately, because of my motorcycle accident, on the day that I was leaving for this event, I didn't get to participate. But they found a way now, a formula to be able to host 3 or 4 different events throughout the year. They must be making a profit because they're able to continue to do it. But when you go back and review the video of what happened during like the Reliability Rally or their Corner Slayer or stuff like that, you know, it seems like everybody's having a blast. And I'll tell you how that is productive for you, is that guy or gal that goes there is going to show that video to everybody he possibly can, and he's going to tell everybody. So you can see how this event gets, many of their events gets sold out within, by the time they open it, within 2 or 3 days. You know, they have 20, 25 riders, and that's all they want to and it's a pretty good thing. So, they found a formula to be able to enhance riding and doing different things, and doing them with a bike that maybe you wouldn't do it with somewhere else. So, most of these bikes are kind of antiques, like that old '93 Sportster of mine, or even bikes in the '70s and stuff. So I congratulate them, and a good job that they've been able to do this.
We move into May 18th, 2022.
We had a podcast May 18th, and go ahead.
We talked about Brianne Poland from the Royal Enfield Motorcycles already. She was on that show, and that was really neat to just realize how cheap those bikes, how inexpensive they are.
Yeah, they're not cheap.
They're not cheap.
an inexpensive
Well-built.
bike,
Yeah,
but
I was surprised when she
they're
told us
very
the price
decently
of them,
built.
yeah.
You get a lot of motorcycle for a little bit of money.
Yeah.
And
And
we had Tad Jablowski on.
you know him better than anybody.
Tad and I are good friends. In fact, right after the show, I got to go to my garage. He's knocking a dent out of the car. Tad's with the mosquito leg dent repair, and I'll tell you what, this guy's phenomenal with the dents. And if you think you have to go to the body shop and get it fixed, he can pull it out. Believe me. Most of the time, he can pull it out. It's not cheap, believe me, but it's nicer to have original paint on the car than it is to have some body guy come in and when he's done, 95% of the time, it's like perfect. Perfect. Yeah.
Yep.
That's an art.
Oh, it is an art.
It is.
Yeah.
I
All
can't-
those
I
little.
don't-
We should
little
have some.
rods
We
and-
should film that someday. All those little curved rods and stuff.
I don't know how to do that. You know?
Yeah, he's got a bunch of
Me neither.
tools. Yep.
Yep. And speaking of women in the car world and motorcycle world, Patty Jo Lambert
Yes.
she's a director of the Friends of Bantam Jeep Festival in Butler, and that is huge.
Oh, I went
huge.
there.
I was
Roy
there
and I went
myself.
over, and what
Oh,
a blast!
man.
They
I
got-
wish I had a Jeep, because I'll tell you what,
I have too.
it's just like going to a motorcycle rally.
Yeah.
Excuse me, where they take off and they camp out, and you can sit around the fire, and then the next day you can take your Jeep with the 20 other people and go ride through the trails.
It starts off where in Pennsylvania?
Butler.
Butler. It starts off
Yep.
in Butler with a big parade and everything.
Right.
And then the next
Oh,
day,
yeah.
and then the next day they move up into the fairgrounds. And what was that, Slippy Rock, or where was that at?
No, it's right there. It's right off of 422.
Yeah.
It's where they host some kind of fair right there.
No, yeah,
and
it's
I
Butler
went-
County.
Yeah, I think it is Butler County, but it's
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
and then wherever
it's
it's
the
at,
big Butler
like
Fairgrounds.
there's
Okay,
big hills
yeah.
and stuff. So then you can go from
think,
there, and you start
yeah.
to go up, and they have these different routes you can go on and stuff.
They
And,
said they had like about 3,000.
and everything that you'd ever want for a Jeep, and I mean everything, from bodies to suspensions to tires to motors to
Yeah.
gearboxes.
Yeah.
And
What a
every-
great way to spend money.
It
No.
was, it was
Yeah, they are.
It was fun
Believe
because
me.
these Jeep guys are like Volkswagen guys. Anything goes. You know,
Yeah.
anything
Oh, yeah.
goes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And it was really neat. They had all the vendors. My God, I don't think I've ever seen so many vendors before at a show like that. And
It was
plus
a blast.
They had courses that you can get
Yeah.
your Jeeps on. You can go through the woods, and they had the rocks you can climb. And everybody loved the mud. You know?
Oh, yeah.
that was
That's
like
half the
that
fun.
was like part of it. You know, you got to get your Jeep muddy. You know,
Oh, yeah.
a muddy Jeep. That's it. That's the
Yep.
signature of a Jeep. But that was a
Yeah.
lot of fun. I was glad I went to that one.
Re-
My girl and I went to that
Yeah.
one.
Reese Mullins, you know.
Yeah, Reese Mullins is about 6'5", pretty tall for a helicopter pilot.
Yeah.
And he's the president of the largest BMW club in America, probably about 200,000 members.
Wow.
And that's where the national rally was held this year in Springfield, Missouri.
This was motorcycles. No,
Yeah,
not cars,
I won't
motorcycles,
go
yeah.
there again.
No.
Well, I mean, it was so hot you couldn't go out. Once you parked your bike, I'd cover my bike because I didn't want that
Oh, you
searing
roasted.
heat on the seat and
Yeah.
on the tank. And then you go into an air-conditioned facility. But, to be able to just go out and tour and ride, it was a little rough. But the MOA, as always, put on tremendous rally. The guest speakers there were down to earth. I learned a lot, especially about dehydration. And I bought a couple of undergarments that helped on the way back. So it was a great time. It was a jog though. I think between that, but I made that a 2-week deal because right from Springfield, Missouri, My one buddy took off and headed back home. I picked up another buddy and I went to a place called Cape Girardeau. Haven't been there in 25 years.
Yeah.
And Cape Girardeau stayed at, I can't remember the name of the hotel, but it was pretty nice. And spent a couple of days there. But the highlight of that trip was I went to the home of Superman in Illinois.
No, boy.
Which Superman, the original one?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, boy.
Yeah,
Yikes.
and I was trying to think of, I can't remember the name of it now, but boy, I'll tell you what, if you look on my Sportster, I brought back a little, I don't know how they wove it in that, but he's a little Green Lantern guy,
Yeah.
and then bought some stuff that was Superman stuff and shipped it to the grandkids and that, but
There you go.
yeah, it was a great time,
Good.
great time.
Oh, we're running out of time, so we're going to have to move through these pretty quick. June 15th, we shot another one. Of course, local legend, Rich Morgan.
Rich
he's,
Morgan.
Legend.
He's a deep down car person,
Oh,
so,
yeah.
you know, he's got a lot of stories with that, and you can hear that on the podcast.
We had him co-hosting a couple of times
Yeah.
on the show. So Rich
Yeah.
is always, I worked with Rich for
Yeah.
30-some years.
We
with
all did.
WKBN,
Yeah, we all worked with
Yeah.
Rich Morgan for a long time.
Yeah.
Rich. Yeah.
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 And Norm Kern, MSTA.
Vice President of the Motorcycle Sport Touring Association. Norm is our go-to guy for all things electronic, whether it is the electronic headset that we wear on our helmets to communicate, or whether it's GPS routes that he's been able to build. So when you show up for a rally that Norm is participating in, you usually can bring your GPS in, give it to him, and he loads all the routes for that particular area, and you take off and follow
Yeah.
the routes in that. One of the things that I would tell you that I found that I shied away from for many, many years, I like listening to the engine. I like listening to the sounds. But one of the things that was pretty neat, I finally talked myself into getting a Sena 20, which is a communication device that fits on your helmet, but it is completely Bluetooth. So I can punch in and bring up on my phone my GPS and Bluetooth that, and Bluetooth my phone and everything to my headset. So I can hear turn by turn. I never
Yeah.
take my eyes off the road. So if I'm in somewhere I've got to make multiple turns, it's really, really cool. And if I get a phone call, and sometimes when I was at work, phone calls would be important, all you got to do is tap the headset, and people have no idea you're on your motorcycle. Wear a full face of rye helmet, top quality helmet, and once I close that shield down, you know, I don't even have to wear earplugs if I don't want
Yeah.
to. It's that quiet. So to me, it was more of a safety thing too, where you not only could hear your prompts from your GPS, but if you did, and it's a communication where I could communicate with other riders. What do they call that? Like a
CB radio.
yeah, it's sort of like that. But I mean, if I'm with
Yeah.
2 or 3 other guys, I just touch it and I'm talking to them.
That, you know,
Moving into the 29th of June, the end of June 22, we had Bill Sumner's. Bill takes care of the Heritage Days car show in Greenville, Pennsylvania, which is a huge thing. I think it's like the first weekend of July or
yeah,
something
that's
like
fun.
that.
Oh,
It's
that's a
huge.
good one.
They get roughly 1,000 cars there.
They're all over the place.
Yeah.
And they park them right on the old city of Greenville. And they park them right on the streets there, and,
Yeah.
and they get some very nice cars. If you've never
Yeah.
been there,
And
the
you know what?
Heritage Day
They
show.
have the neatest coffee shop there. I don't remember the name of it, but you can walk in. It's like all old stuff, you know.
Well, the whole
And
city's
you can
old.
Yeah.
you can sit on couches. And,
yeah.
You know.
They're ripping a bunch of buildings down there because they're falling down.
No,
they-
jeez.
Yeah, yeah. And then we had Keith Culver,
Champions
Champion
Motorcycle Riding School, you know, associated with Yamaha. And again, like I talked to Rick about investing in yourself, certainly, you know, California Superbike School, Champion School, Penguin Road Racing School, you know, all these various schools will enhance your skills and make you a better, safer, and help you operate your bike in a much more proficient manner. So if you could check it out, Champions Motorcycle Riding School. You know, we've got several tracks in the area. One is Pittsburgh International Raceway, formerly called Beaver Run. They host several track days there where you can get out on your bike and learn how to operate your bike at a higher level. Also down at Mid-Ohio, you know, that's where the Champions Motorcycle Riding School is, as well as California Superbike School. So several local tracks are in and around the area. will have on their website dates, and I'd encourage you to sign up early. And of course, when you're on the track, you're going to be wearing all the gear. And if you don't have gear, they'll loan it to you. I have a leather suit that I wear, and now that I've lost weight, I can maybe get back into it. But a lot of times, you know, if you've got a good quality jacket with armor in it, and you got regular pants, but they're armored, you know, you can wear that, you know.
Yep.
So
July 13th, we move into, we have 2 guests on there, Jim Makita from the Northern Ohio Oldsmobile Club, and we had Krista, our co-host for Street Scene Car and Bike Show. Jim Makita, we aired their show. That was the rain.
That was a rain show too,
yeah,
as
with
well.
the
So
Oldsmobiles, and but they were expecting a huge turnout because it was 100 years for Oldsmobile, and it was a horrible day. And
Yeah.
I remember going there.
was it raining or?
Oh,
it
was-
rained, and they
was
got about
torrential
50
rain,
cars.
Yeah. When I was on my way down from Liberty Township, I almost had to pull over. It was raining so
Yeah.
bad,
Wow.
and they were expecting
Sort of like
a-
today.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
We were expecting 150 cars. I think they got.
They got 50.
Yeah, they got
Yeah.
50.
But
Yeah,
it turned out to be a good show to watch because we did have some rare cars
oh, yeah,
come out.
Yeah.
Of
And we
course,
had
Krista.
Krista's getting married here in February.
Yep.
Is she?
Congratulations
Yeah,
to
she's getting
Krista
married.
Sylvester.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
And her soon-to-be husband is also a car guy.
Oh yeah,
So,
big time.
Well, I
you
think
know,
that goes without
yeah.
saying.
Oh yeah.
Yep,
I guess
so-
if he wasn't a car guy, she probably wouldn't have nothing to do
Yeah,
with it.
she's
you
not
know?
marrying anybody that plays chess.
Yeah.
So, that's all.
So she talked. We did a wrap up on this, our preview on the Street Scene Car and Custom Bike Show coming up over that year, and watch that one as well.
She knows her stuff.
Yeah,
Krista-
she really
Krista's-
knows what's going
she
on.
knows
So
really what's going on. She's pretty and she knows her car stuff and she just flows. Well, I'll tell you.
So, you know, following the Street Scene Car and Custom Bike Show,
We had-
27th.
We had Jim Marmonis on with his 53 Oldsmobile.
He was a class winner for the Street Scene Car and Custom Bike Show, and this car had a history behind it.
Oh, he had a
It's
big history.
really.
This car just like all over all kind of magazines and everything.
Yeah.
And Jim was a heck of a guy. That was the day you guys were talking street racing and everything with Jim, right?
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah,
I
those
just
are the
sat,
days.
I just sat back because I was never really a street racer.
Oh.
And you guys were just.
Yeah, those were the fun days
Yeah.
when you didn't, you could not get thrown in the slammer for
he was a good talker. He's into his cars.
Oh yeah.
Ron Dubas.
Ron Dubas, yep.
So we had Ron Dubas.
Class
Yeah.
winner on the for the motorcycle portion of the Street Scene Car and Motorcycle
Yeah.
Show.
Yeah.
Yep.
Beautiful
So
bike.
2012 Harley Davidson Street Glide, and it was a gorgeous bike, and
And
we
then
had
on the
him.
17th of August, we had James Saffer.
I made
Same
it this
Sofer.
year.
Soper?
Oh my God, this year was so good. I actually had
I
that
think we all were
Volkswagen.
there, yeah.
We all were there. We didn't
Yeah.
shoot a show up
Oh,
there.
yeah.
But you know what? The nice thing is, last year I broke down 3 times on the way up there, and broke down 3 more times on the way home. I mean,
Yeah.
it was a rough day last year. But this year, I had a newer, I don't know what year it was, a newer Volkswagen Bug with the motor in the front, and I made it all the way up, all the way back, and I didn't have any brake.
Well, you know what?
He was in charge of the bug infestation at Geneva, Ohio.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
we didn't
you know,
say
What
my
a
that.
great show!
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, my
You know, I
son.
wish they would do that a couple of times, not just once.
Yeah, it's a good. It was humid. It was humid
It
up
was
there.
right
Yeah.
on the lake, too. You're right on the lake. You know, you
That-
walk 50 yards in the lakes right there.
That was the
Yeah.
first time me and my son I took my red 61 up. I drove it, and he drove the Love Bug up. And we got it all the way up there, and then we got all the way back, and I got on Tippecanoe Road, and the throttle cable broke on the 60. I got all the way home. I was literally 4 miles from my house, and the car broke down. So I had to limp it home, but I got it home, and we had a blast. But was it hot? It was sure. We slept good that night. It was a workout.
I sat in the
driving
shade
those.
after a while.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
trying
but
to find somebody
drive
that had
those
cold beer.
heat box bugs back. Whew.
We also had on that show from the Bellefonte Hill Climb. What was his name? Kurt?
Well, I
Right.
used to
That's
call
cool.
this Bellefontaine because that's how I was taught in
Bellefontaine.
English,
Yeah.
but they call it Bellefontaine.
Bell Fountain.
Fountain. Okay.
Yeah, I got
The
corrected quite a bit
Bellefontaine
about
Hill
that one.
Climb. What a terrific thing! I mean, it's
That's
in the
cool. I wanna do that.
southwest area of Ohio. So it's
I used to go to hill climbs all the time.
Yeah,
when I was
and
young,
I'll tell you what,
start racing. That was fun.
the vintage cars that are racing there, I mean, it's just fabulous fun. And if you don't get stupid about it and wad up your car, you have a whole lot of fun. So
Yeah, that's
next
good.
year, I'm grandfathered in on the '84 Corvette, my Z51, and I'm gonna give it a go.
Yeah.
Have a run at it.
That'd be fun.
Then we move into the 24th. We had 2 guests on, and we had 3 guests on, really. And we had George David and son. George's 1969 Chevelle was the grand champion of the street scene car and
Yeah.
bike show.
Hey,
Boy,
wow.
that thing was nice.
Yeah, you even said
That's saying
something when Nick
something.
pulled in.
That was
Yeah.
beautiful. He just got back from the Good Guys and he won. Remember
He
that?
won at the
He
Good Guys.
He won something.
And you
at
know, the Good Guys show.
Yeah, the Good Guys show. That was the show I didn't attend. Remember? That
No,
was the
I've
one
never.
I missed.
I've never
I-
been there, and I want to go.
No,
so
no,
bad.
no. The podcast. I remember I missed it that time.
Yeah, it serves you right for not interviewing me.
And then
Anyway,
we had Norm Kern on,
Our vice president from the Motorcycle Sport Touring. Norm is the coordinator of what they call the Marietta Flyby Weekend. And if you remember the old mail pouch
yeah,
things,
Yeah.
and they kind of patterned it off of that where it said mail pouch flyby. And so it is what we call a hub and spoke rally. So the hub is the hotel that we all stay at, and then the spokes are the various routes over 2 or 3 days. And you'll very easily put 2 or 250 miles a day following these various routes. And one of the good ones is Red River Gorge down 16 into West Virginia, where they jump off that bridge and bungee jump once a year. And it's but they got a great thing, and there's a good museum,
great.
and there's a lot of different things to
Yeah.
see and do down there. So that flyby weekend is the last weekend of August, just a blast.
good. We've already talked about Sean Pyros of the Hollywood Knights. We had him as a guest again.
We had
Our
Mark-
friend and Mark Cole.
Mark Cole, yeah, he's an insurance guy. We talked all about
And he's-
insuring cars and motorcycles.
He's webbed into all that.
Yeah, yeah,
he's
he's really
a
interesting.
great supporter of the car and motorcycle
Sure.
Well, he's got 'em.
hobbies.
He's got them all. He's got
Yeah.
cars and custom bikes.
Yeah.
So
He's been on street scene a number of times.
Yep, yeah. Mark's a good friend of ours. We move into September 21st. Tony Nicholas. Geez, I don't even. I have emails here. I must have messed it up. So, Tony Nicholas.
Rust Belt Revival.
Yeah, Rust Belt Revival. So,
Yeah. He had
that's
that.
a great
We
show.
went to that show. We did that show, and that was a good show. If you ever been to the downtown Youngstown, right across from the brewery there, that old factory,
Yep.
that's where they have it. And this year was bigger than ever.
And you'll be seeing that on Look for Street Scenes
that's right, we
premiering
didn't
this
air
month.
that yet. Oh,
No,
that's
we did
right.
not.
Oh,
I
that's a good
purposely
one.
held it
This-
off on
This
that.
car show is different than all the other shows. You know, these are a lot of rat rods and stuff like that, and it's just a different type of an atmosphere.
It's a
there.
different aura down
Yeah,
there, and
yeah.
it's really fun.
It's really
And then,
fun. And
uh,
this year Tony had that bike show too. I
Yeah,
went to that. It
yeah.
was the first year for that. I went there for a little bit, and that was neat too.
Yeah.
So. And we
Geo
had
Rotor.
Geo Rotor.
just like John Penton and the Penton clan is the first family of off-road motorcycle racing with their Pentons. George Rotor and his family, the Rotors, are legendary in Harley Davidsons and in particular flat track racing. And I think his dad set the world land speed record at one time. I think the speed streamliner is up there.
Yeah, that's
at
really,
the
he was
dealership.
really interesting, you know.
Oh, great guy.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, terrific racer, but they're all old school. And now George is teaching his son the part of the business, which is how to operate a lathe, how to build things with your
Yeah.
hands, how to do things. You know, a lost art of a lot of things, but certainly not lost at Rotor, Harley Davidson. Well,
Yeah.
they're not really a Harley Davidson factory shop, but they're certainly Harley Davidson.
We move into the end of September.
Yep, end of September. Our friend John Kufleitner from Kufleitner Chrysler Jeep Dodge up in Boardman and in Columbiana. He is also got Kufleitner's his showroom out in Salem
With
there
all the
of
classic
Galleria.
cars. Get a
I gotta,
Cadillac.
where's that at? I'm going to go there.
Oh, yeah,
I'd
it's
like
something
go
cool
there.
to
It's the old
walk
Honda building.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right
And
on,
say-
right outside of Salem.
Right on
Okay.
14 or 62.
He was really
62.
Right.
he was really cool. John was really cool. He's got a big background and everything,
The Burnout King.
modeling and everything. I'll tell you what. And he
Yeah.
was a shipbuilder at one time. I want to. I want to sit down
Interesting.
and have some bourbon with John.
Now, I'm
sometime.
sure he would do that
I'm not
because,
sure if he would, but
you
I
know,
would
if,
like to
if
sit
you
down
watch the
sometime.
YouTube version of that podcast, he was sitting there
drinking bourbon,
drinking and having, and you know
he
what? I was
had
kind of
his
jealous.
canister
And-
behind him, and I was going to ask him about it, and then he pulled up his glass. I said, "He's drinking the bourbon."
we affectionately call him the Burnout King because he'd go get those Dodge Red Eyes and put them out on the street. Our Corvette Club held a big thing down at his Galleria a couple years ago. Man, he took that thing and smoked them up. So we call him
That'll
the
do it.
Burnout King. But if you see his TV commercial today, he's sitting there in a truck. I'm John Cluefinder, and then off he went.
I just want to drive a Hellcat just once. Just once.
Well, they have
I don't care.
Hellcats, they have Red Eyes.
I know.
Yeah.
I was going to hit him up for. I got to drive a Hellcat someday. I want one, but I'd never afford one.
And also sharing the podcast that day was the motorcycle restorer Al Noveski.
Nabecki, Al
Nabecki?
the gadget guy.
Nabecki.
Nabecki.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Al
yeah,
has
yeah.
made many appearances on the two-wheel power hour motorcycle show when it was on 570 WKBN, and Al was our go-to guy. So if there's anything new and exciting in the electronic gadget world, Al probably had it on his bike, which was good for us because after about 6 months he'd want something else and we'd get it pretty reasonable.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah,
we
we'd-
need somebody like that.
Yeah, we'd buddy up
You
to
could
him.
join our show if you'd give us your old products like that.
Moving on to the 19th of October.
On the 19th of October, Derek Smith.
Derek Smith is the owner and publisher of a motorcycle magazine. He now has changed it to Reasons to Ride. And if you've seen his publication, it centers around Harley Davidson and all things in the bar and shield life. And he does a terrific job. And he will be at the Power Sports. He'll have a whole big thing set up there. And I look forward to seeing Derek again.
Randy Acerno. Wicked Images, custom art, auto and skin art. He's a graphic designer. He's a pinstriper. He's a painter, and he is involved with. If you go down to United Auto or a Paint Supply, up on right off Western Reserve Road here, he's there, and I get all my paint supplies from them when I'm painting, and he is really, really good. So
Good guy to know.
yeah, he's really good. We wrapped up November with two guests. Jerry Young, first World Trials champion.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know about the discipline called trials, and that's where you take a motorcycle and you're standing up and you're going very, very slow, and it's all about how you can balance the motorcycle even when it's not even moving. And Jerry in 72 or 73 became the first United States trials champion, world trials champion, and we certainly want to thank Jerry for taking the time to stop by. And that guy still gets on one of these trials bikes and rides as good as most.
Yeah.
And his son was 6-time world champion in trials, Ryan. So
We also had Carl Slagle on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we had Carl Slagle on. We welcomed him back to kind of go over things this winter's coming. And I mean, we're not going to stop it. It's been raining like cats and dogs, and if that was snow, we'd be snowed in by now. So he was going into, you got to prep your classic hard motorcycle for storage. He was going over that with us. And your daily driver, there's things that you need to know to get those prepped for winter. So he went over all that with us.
He was good. We spent an hour with Carl. We could have probably easily spent another hour with him.
Another 2 hours with questions.
He was
so.
really good. Carl knows his stuff.
Yeah.
He's been on WKBN radio now, Car Talk for 33 years, I
Yeah.
think he said.
Yeah.
well, he's the master.
Yeah, he is. And he just ratted things off. We tried to stump him, but
No,
I
you
think we
can't
could.
stump Carl.
So-
Yeah, you're not going to stump Carl.
Well, I tell you what, that wraps up our show for Street Scene Power Hour for the year. Thank you for being a listener,
Thank
a
you.
downloader, a watcher, and supporting our
all-
cause.
it's all
we're
about
here
you.
for you. Yeah, we're here
all
for
about
you,
you, yeah.
because this is all for the fans here locally in the Mahoning Valley. That's why we are here to do this show.
And we're always looking for new guests to come on here,
Yep.
if you're courageous enough.
Yeah, and it's all Zoom calls, so you don't
Yeah.
have to. You can do it from the comfort of your home. So
Yeah.
we're looking for professionals
I've done
and.
it numerous places.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we could go on that with that too. Anyway, for Larry Ward, I got you again at the end of the show. Larry Ward, Rick Guerrera. My name's
Happy
Greg Roten.
holidays.
Happy holidays.
Happy
and
holidays.
Merry
we will,
Christmas.
We will see you
See you down
down the
the
road.
road.